And we're live. This anti-work thing that I see it on Reddit, I get exposed to it, and sometimes Facebook.
Oh, we've looked at it before. Yeah.
Is interesting to me. It's like a movement, especially amongst young people, to compartmentalize work and not have it take over their lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm really torn on it because
to do the bare minimum.
Right. Okay. Then you see some of what I'm seeing too, which, like, on one hand, look, if your employer's taking advantage of you, if you're a waiter or a waitress and they're calling on you to fill in for someone else and they seem to give you a hard time for it and not the guy you had to fill in for, or if they use family or pizza to fuck you over as like, hey, tell you what, Kyle, we need you to work all weekend, but take pizza Monday party off.
Yeah, you're going to get a pizza party.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, you want me to work on demand for Saturday and Sunday, and then I can have Monday off, and we're going to call that square?
Yeah,
how about you suck
bullshit.
A dick? Yeah. No, so like, I get
what
that
I've seen.
Go ahead.
What I've seen is they don't really draw any difference between working hard to get ahead, which I think is like something that we all grew up with, like hearing a lot, and sort of those scenarios like you see in like maybe Asian business culture where people are literally being worked to death. Everything is sort of like painted with the same brush. And I see it on like a boring dystopia or something like that on that subreddit. And sometimes I agree with it. It's like someone like having a hard time just trying to follow the rules. And then sometimes it's like, my boss expected me to come in on Saturday to do clerical like corrections, and can you believe it? And it's like, well, what'd you do?
Yeah,
what'd you do? Did you decide you didn't want to like have a job this week? I don't know. They just.
It's like you said, they don't make any distinguishment between. Is distinguishment a word? They don't distinguish at all between like working to get ahead and showing a little ambition and your work just like fucking you over. Like, I'm all for standing up to bad bosses. I'm all for this idea of like being able to get yourself in the perfect job for you. I love that. When the gig economy first came around, I falsely thought that it would lower. There's this thing called, like, an economist would call workplace friction. And this friction is this idea, like, why aren't you in the perfect job for you? Oh, it's because it's kind of hard to leave my job, to find a new job, etc. And if somehow it becomes really easy to do that, to find the perfect job, because you don't need to move anymore. Now we can work online and you can just go on, fill out a form and get a better job, and it's an easy switch. There's less workplace friction, and you're more likely to be in the best place for you. That sounds great. Now, that's not what the gig economy kind of did. It just fucked people over who deliver food. But that's what I thought would happen. That was my dream of how it would play out. Anyway, I'm for people getting the best job. I'm for people not getting screwed over by bad bosses. I like that. But man, sometimes Reddit is like, they wanted me to finish my task. I told them no. It's like, well, I mean, he is paying you. They're so anti-work. Carry on.
There does seem to be like a chasm here of difference between some of the. I just looked at top this month on anti-work Reddit, and like some of them are like straight up like someone being like, the boss being like, you got to come into work tomorrow, and they're like, it's my day off. He's like, you got to be a team player, and the person's like, my dad died yesterday. It's like, okay. my uncle died a few days ago. Don't be a victim. And he's like,
is like, that a real one?
It is, but it's like, it's so perfect and in text. Like you can obviously fake text conversations, but like that's a league away from what Woody's referring to, which is like, hey, you got to wipe down the counters before we leave, before we close up Cold Stone Creamery for the evening. Go fuck yourself. I'm not closing the ice cream hatch.
Kiss my ass, you wage slave. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm not locking the door on my way out either.
You're going to steal all your cream, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it a lot, and I'm kind of 50-50 on like some of it, because like sometimes it's like what I'll see are like want ads, like the things that are required for a job, and it's just like, of course, the thing you see all the time, which is like tons of experience that's in some cases impossible. Like they'll invent a new field of expertise. and then be hiring for someone who is an expert in that career of expertise that was just invented, but require like 6 years of expertise
it happens
at the brand new field.
Like Google will make a new API, application programming interface, and they'll be like, "We want you to have 5 years with it." This thing is 18 months old,
or maybe a piece of equipment, even like you know,
okay.
or that, same thing. Like they don't make any fucking sense, but
right?
I don't know. Some of
or
it,
you know, do you have a master's? We're willing to pay you $14.25. Oh, you can fuck off with that too. I get it. I'm as anti-work as anyone, but I'm more like, I don't know. You should be rewarded. I just want you in the right spot in the right job, not so much flipping the bird and not getting ahead. And that seems like what anti-work encourages. Just doing the minimum. Some
sort of Fight Club type anarchy where we wear leather clothes that last a lifetime or whatever he said.
If you follow the anti-work subreddit's mentality, I think you'll always just bounce from one terrible job to the next. It's not really about setting yourself up with skills where multiple employers are wishing they had the opportunity to pay you 6 digits. That's where you want to be.
To the point where, like, what? Like the rules are better? And where, like, no one is allowed to work extra hard? They want to put a cap on productivity. That's what it's about. Because they're allowed to bow out of extra work. They just don't want you to be able to do the extra work, right? That's what it comes down to.
I'm processing this. Yeah, but the world's not going to change.
Of course not.
That's that sometimes I see young people, you know, like, oh, I'll be a teacher. Well, you know, teachers don't earn much. Well, I'm going to change that about teaching. Are you, sweetie? Are you?
you raise the pay anymore, you won't be qualified to teach, bitch. You're right on the cusp right as we speak, if I'm being honest.